This is Otaku Station broadcasting our analysis of the anime series NieA Under 7, Episode 2.
Okay, so that seemed like the Japanese version of Tom Waits, and I feel
Yes.
so uplifted.
Yeah, that is very much the vibe of him and his voice. That's exactly that.
I feel like I need a throat lozenge.
But I do find that opening interesting because of the kind of mystery it adds to the story, or the sense of mystery, seeing NieA, leap through the trash with the cape on. Just a lot of odd imagery in this that makes you wonder what's going on.
Yeah, it definitely does make you wonder what's going on, because that did nothing to help me with the last episode in trying to figure out anything. But yeah, but I did like when they were kind of doing the mug shots, and the one one dude that's like the caretaker of the bathhouse is like, yeah. So I would like to harken back to the last time we used cosmic fuel.
That's all I'm thinking of. Like, oh no.
So big explosion.
Yep.
This is really kind of interesting. They're having the meeting, trying to figure out what the bathhouse and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she brings up a new, or whatever we're gonna do. He brings up the heating oil. NieA is just sitting right there, and she goes, "Yeah, I heard some kids rambling about it. Do you know anything about it? I mean, other than that it explodes badly if not used correctly." And Mia is not bringing that up for some reason. I don't know why, but but it's kind of interesting because now we have more to the story here of just like what's in the crater. Do you really want to go to the crater? We hear that's in a bad neighborhood. Is it really in a bad neighborhood, or is it just one of the places where the oil just kind of turns you into something? Just something random. Cronenberg. You get Cronenberg. But but again, it goes back to the banality of everyday life. They're just trying to figure this out, and she's just like, well, at this point, I'll even take an alien's opinion on this, and there's no thought or whatever of like, it's an alien. But again, we're 20 years into this, so they're probably already figured out they're actually phone sanitizers, like in Douglas Adams.
Yeah. This is a very generic, normal kind of moment in a day. Nothing crazy to that point. And looking at it now, I'm assuming that the old mother is Mayuko's grandma, who runs the place, and then we have the manager / owner and the handyman / maintenance guy, I guess. Who also runs the fires, which, considering the age of this bathhouse, might be like he's saying, wood fires, so it's probably wood fueled. It's harkened back to the NieA eating cats lines from the earlier episode. Now she's just playing with the cat, so clearly that's more a joke than anything else.
Yeah.
So I think this is deliberate. For sale sign on a lot. We're getting more and more sense that this is a, shall we say, economically depressed area.
Yeah.
Let's call out the change in music. A very weird, creepy music with very mundane, beautiful imagery, right? Nothing strange. We have this lovely image of a butterfly, but it just, makes you wonder what's going on here.
I keep expecting them to just burst into Tang.
Well, given that this is not supposed to be the greatest place to go to, it looks really actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
Compared to like the sort of depressing town that's up above the crater. And I'm not saying that little town down there is not depressing in its own way, but getting there is beautiful.
Yeah. I'll notice.
Is that intentional?
What?
The audio.
I was just gonna say, we got a Hanna-Barbera running noise.
Yeah.
Right there. That's quite a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely getting the sense that around the crater is not a normal place.
Yeah.
Not for leaves that are the size of like 10 by 10 tarps.
Yeah. Those look like ribs to you?
Yeah.
They're walking through?
So I want to shout out on that. That was a really fun little piece of animation, right?
Yeah.
Where he's just seeing his own reflection inside the bento there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, someone's just like, look, I know we're bare bones animating right now, but can we just do a little something here? Just a little.
Well, they're doing a lot. I mean, there are multiple scenes of really, of a lot of motion in the comedic animation, and you feel like they had to save up for those few moments. So the rest of it is a little more straightforward. And to your point, we get a nice little arty shot here.
Yeah.
With a power level above 9,000.
Oh, today is such a wonderful thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Mr. Yoshioka is a bit of a pyro. Just saying.
Yeah. I'm impressed, though, he did not explode the boilers. Good on you, man.
Yeah, it's impressive.
I'm wondering if Kotomi is a future reflection of Mayu.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
So even though Kotomi is this adult person, she's responsible, she's checking the books, she's really trying to do the thing, she's still working apparently another job, if not two other jobs. Like, we don't know who the client at 7 was, but she's editing a video now at 6. So are we supposed to look at kind of Kotomi through Mayu to be like, well, this is kind of what she'll have in the future, the way she's going?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It also opens up the question, like, is Mayuko going to take over the bath someday?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Considering her family seems to own her, that there's some family history here. Is that her trajectory, or is it not?
We don't know.
So let's call out that line. She's working hard. There's no question. But is it because that's what she's supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like she doesn't know where she's going.
Yeah.
She's working hard because she's working hard.
Yep.
Not because she wants to be a nurse, not because she wants to be an astronaut, but she's just working hard.
Yep.
Like, oh, huh.
Yeah. Also nice seeing after such a wacky episode to get these moments of reflection at the end. It helps to ground it a bit.
Yeah. And who knew that oil, fire, plant parts was such good fertilizer?
Yeah, apparently. All right, so that's episode 2 of NieA Under 7. Obviously, it's basically a Daffy Duck cartoon, right?
Yeah.
It is much more of a silly sitcom episode kind of concept, but with man-eating plants, because why not?
Yes.
I do think this goes a long way towards establishing more tone for the series, of saying that we can just go deep down a silly rabbit hole for a while and just have a fun ride. And it's interesting because it is more of a sort of a sci-fi adventure story, if you will.
Yeah.
Than what we said before. It's not grounded at all.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things about this particular episode, aside from the wonderful slapstick, is we see, we saw an alien working in as a waitress in that one restaurant, and so we saw the kids in the crater, but we didn't know that they lived down there necessarily. And then when we get to see the alien village down there, so there's an actual village of aliens that live down there. And look at how they're living. This is not high technology. This is not, they're living like arguably.
It's a shanty town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shanty town, but people don't seem to be downtrodden down here.
Yeah.
Like they're happy with it. And there's some like unintentional terraforming going on. in this place. So there's an oil spill. There's man eating plants, and
Yeah,
kids
the
with
ecology is kind of different down here.
Yeah. So and they call her an old lady, and wondering where her antenna is, and so there's again another little mystery that to ponder about. But it also goes back to the whole point of the aliens, of these particular aliens not being high tech, here to save the world or anything like that. They're literally like, the old guy is literally just an old guy, with his hand behind the back. Like, wow, okay, so if you're looking for the oil, it's just over there, and again, there doesn't seem to be any like real animosity between like actual who is alien, who is human. Again, we get the thing of, hey, you don't have an antenna. So apparently that antenna is important for some reason.
Well, it's also interesting that there's an old man and children. Are we supposed to infer from this that the girl that was the server with the parfait, that's everybody who's an adult, who's between the child and old people, they're all out working,
right?
And that the village now is just, the old people are watching after the children, and they're doing their thing until the other adults come back after work.
Yeah,
guessing maybe.
Yeah, but like to your guys' point, nobody's wearing rags.
Right.
The kids have perfectly kind of normal kind of clothes, so it would seem that they're living a kind of lower middle class kind of a life potentially. But like, to your point, where are all the young adults, middle age folks? Yeah.
Gosh, in this picture, those kids look so angry.
Yeah, NieA is definitely kind of goes down the NieA's a little less, I don't know. Gosh, brain fart.
Less endearing?
NieA's a little less likable, in this episode.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
More of a meanie and more needy, exactly. Than...
Feed me, I'm hungry. Can we eat now? Where's the bento? I want the bento.
No one can hear you scream if you're underneath the bathwater.
Take this lighter, walk into the middle of that refreshing lake, and light it. No! Which, with ecological change, the fact that there is a giant crater,
true,
a lake of fuel, did something land here that had this is like its fuel tanks are leaking?
Right, maybe.
You know what I mean? So it's like ecological change, but is this also a potential ecological disaster? Because it's a lake of fuel. I mean,
but also no one cares.
Yeah.
Like no one comes over here. No one. This is a completely normal site for everybody. Nobody's coming over.
They know about it, but nobody goes
probing it.
Yeah.
And there's no talk about it outside, because like if this was like if we're talking real ecology here, if that's fuel, it goes into the soil and it will travel. It does. Liquid does travel underground, and so there would have been like people going, oh crap, all the tomatoes in my garden are dead, or wow, Mrs. Jones has a huge ass tumor on her neck, or something of that nature.
This well water tastes funny. Yeah,
right. Why is the water on fire when I turn on the faucet? But so there's really no, so even from the ecological point, there's no offensive thing happening from the aliens, right?
And even to that point,
there's no.
Go ahead.
No, what I was just going to say, there's nothing offensive about these people. Look, the repair guy goes down there apparently all the time, and they're okay with him walking around, right?
A scientist comes by at the end and gives them some report on what that was, and they're like, "Oh, it's interesting." There's not a massive, crew from ET of scientists that all swarm this place and are know,
Right.
testing everything. No, they just some scientist comes by and then we're done.
Yeah.
So it definitely feels
So
like
Alien invasive species, so we'll just pull it off and burn it.
yeah.
Have fun. Bye.
Yeah, I could just imagine. I mean, the bureaucracy of the human alien agency in Tokyo comes out. Oh, a thing happened out of this bathhouse. What happened? Oh, just this man-eating flower came out. Really? Huh. Well, I got nothing else to do today, so I'm just going to tell you. I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
Really? Huh? Bento for lunch? Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So more hints that there's something odd going on in this universe. But yeah, I think after the groundedness, we keep using the word, of that first episode, I think this is a bit of a surprise that we can go kind of full Daffy Duck for 15 minutes or so. But oddly, it doesn't feel wildly out of place.
Yeah.
Well, the whole throwing the mud balls and the
Yeah.
kind of thing, it didn't last too long to make it
True.
like stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, okay, you had your goofiness, you had some funny stuff going on, but then you got beyond it. That wasn't like the whole point of like, hey, let's do this for like 5 minutes. Be like, no, don't do that.
Good point.
It injected enough humor to make the experience in this shanty town not like, oh, that's so sad. Look at the shacks they live in. And got you to be more like, here we go, NieA doing something stupid again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we segue to the next thing. The cuts between him cutting the vine to her cutting vegetables to like these different cuts. Was it the pouring the water and then getting the splashing? They were splashing in the lake and then cutting to her washing stuff. Kotomi washing stuff. It's like, wow, what interesting cuts for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just a way of showing, like, the people back up in the normal house, in the bathhouse, having a
normal
tangential connection to what's going on. So you're deliberately being shown something relatively normal and calm, as opposed to that tangential, oh, well, they're getting a little bit wet, I'm on fire, kind of thing. And so it's just like going, oh, calm chaos.
Yeah.
But that's a nice transition to think of. You know what I mean? Because inherently watching a show, there's things that go on beyond what we see. You know what I mean? So you're watching CSI and they're investigating something. There's people back in the office that are making copies of stuff. You know what I mean? But a lot of that tends to focus on, like, you're watching the characters that you're supposed to focus on. They go do the thing. There is nothing happening. Grandma is just like, waiting for lunch. Kotomi's just washing stuff. And it's like, I'm impressed that they're committed to not just flipping back, not, the connection between the machete and the cutting the vegetables. You could have not had that at all. Just flip back, see them cooking, and be like, okay, now you know what everybody else is doing. And then gone back. No, twice they come in to make that connection with cutting a vegetable and cutting a vegetable and water and water. And it's like, so you're doing this with very specific things in mind to pull back to the bathhouse.
And
it's
we
like,
stay on this for a while too. Right? It's not just cut back, ha ha ha, cut back to the action. We're really drawn into the moment.
And it's like that. Not to say that it takes away, but if you're going for something actiony, you are pulling it back down quietly. Lunch will be ready. We got some cold noodles coming. Okay, washing, chopping, then back to the action, and then bring it back down again.
Yep.
It's like that's interesting why you're doing this. You ramp it up, you bring it down. You vamp it up, bring it down. I'm like, huh.
I kind of half expected them at one point for Kotomi making a lunch and just going, like, pondering at the window, looking up and going, I wonder how they're doing right now. And, like, off in the distance, she's, imagining what what they're doing, and you hear like Mia screaming, "It's eating me!"
Yeah, her vision, la, 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 la. And then you see them being eaten by plants. Oh no!
Indeed. Any other thoughts on the episode? Kind of a wacky, fun one.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice that the world is growing.
True.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't know much about the cram school.
Mm-hmm.
So episode 1, we know the cram school's in Tokyo.
Yep.
So we see the journey to get there. It is not close.
Yeah.
But we don't really have a great sense of, is it a campus? Is it a single, we see the information kiosk. Is it one building? Is it just an office building with a cram school in it? So we don't know much about that part of the world. Town, we have a little bit of a layout of the town. We see a little bit of her delivering newspapers. Now we know where the crater is kind of organized.
True.
And, you know what I mean? So we're getting a better sense of layout of what we're looking at in this world.
Yeah, good point.
I don't know why this thought just jumped into my head, but as you're saying that, John, I was, the world expanding and thinking about how they go by the empty plot of land and it says for sale sign on there. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I got in my head the movie that Takahara did about the canals and trying to save towns.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to how do you revive a town? How do you use your history? How do you not cover things up?
Yeah,
things of that nature to save a town. And when you point that out, it's like, oh yeah, this isn't just about the bathhouse; it's about this town.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are kind of going through this, and you're realizing that there are resources.
Yeah.
But how do you access them? How do you use them? As Takahara was saying, having these canals are very, very nice, but how do you use them?
Yeah.
To save your town, to keep your town going, and things like that. And so people are trying to be enterprising, and maybe the goal of what was her name? Kotomi. Kotomi. Maybe her thing isn't just that she's working hard, like John, like you were saying, that she's a future reflection of Miyu, but that Kotomi has that goal that you were talking about when we were wondering what is Miyu's going. Miyu's going.
Yeah.
So I wonder, what am I working hard for?
Great
Maybe
point.
this is her thing of going like, it's not just about the bathhouse. It's about what I'm doing at 6 p.m. to edit the video for whatever it is for this town. At 7 o'clock, meeting a client to maybe help them, bring up their business. Whatever. Maybe her goal is to save the town, to help save this town. I don't know.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Well, you definitely get the sense, and like to your question, John, earlier. So this is about, or I guess Steve. So this is about a decade after the end of the boom in Japan. So
okay, gotcha.
This is, we're still in the doldrums. We're still in the crash, if you will, and you get the sense this is one of those areas where the money, the people have all been slowly draining out of it for a long time. It wasn't, slammed, but it's hitting a crisis point now in the town that there's not enough people even to come to this bathhouse, and there's not a lot of other options. That the town is not dying, but it is in this difficult position, and no one person can fix it.
And that for sale sign was faded.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't a sign fresh out there like, oh, somebody must be up and moving. It's like, no, when you pan past that, look at it.
You're right.
It's not selling. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yep. And you have the big, drainage pipes, the culvert pipes there on the side, which indicate, infrastructure issues. Implies that. So, this is a hard thing. And I love your point, Steve, that I think Kotomi definitely has a larger vision, a larger goal that she's working towards. And I think it's why she's happy. I think it's why when these things happen, it's not just, oh, today went well. Oh, I had a success today. This is a building block for the future.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's episode 2 of NieA Under 7. We will return later with episode 3. The subtitle of NieA Under 7 is Domestic Poor Animation. And I think it's worth calling out why they used that title, arguably. I mean, I haven't interviewed anyone about this, but it's kind of a joke about the fact that anime has always been inexpensively made. And this goes all the way back to Astro Boy in the 1960s, arguably the first anime. That anime was actually, I believe, sold for half what it made to make, and they had to, make up that money through like other deals behind the scenes. So anime has always been pushed to be as inexpensively made as possible. Now that did result in some stylistic innovations that made anime unique and distinctive. So a lot of that use of still image to provide a lot of power kind of came out of that, arguably. But that's made anime very inexpensive. And why that may have been an element in NieA Under 7 is because at the time NieA Under 7 was made, anime was transitioning to digital production. Now, it was still all hand-drawn. The characters were all hand-drawn. There was no, CGI characters. Maybe a little CGI here and there. But we're talking, hand-drawn characters then scanned into a computer to be colored and assembled and edited together. That had happened outside of Japan a little bit earlier. The Japanese production process was so low cost that for a studio to bring in enough computers and software to do that was prohibitively expensive for a little while. So it wasn't until around, the very late 90s, early 2000s that studios started switching over to this digital anime production. And it made a lot of anime look cheap. A lot of studios, they didn't know how to make it look good yet. They were still experimenting. And that was part of the conversation at the time within anime, the anime industry, was how do we keep up with the times, but still put out a quality product? Given that quality, you can have high quality in different areas, storytelling, etc. It doesn't have to be lush animation all the time. But this was part of the conversation, is everything was transitioning to digital, things were kind of looking weird, and there was kind of no way out, in the sense that anime was going to have to find ways to make that work with low budgets, because unless you're Hayao Miyazaki, you're just not going to get a high budget. So hopefully that helps to explain that subtitle and why they're being sort of self-reflexively calling themselves domestic and poor, because that is kind of what anime is and always has been.